Good morning, children. The next topic which we are going to pick up in this chapter is types of agriculture which are practiced in India. So, we broadly divide the types of agriculture into two. One is shifting and the other one is settled. Now, and then shifting is the same. We divide settled into two more types, that is subsistence and commercial. Subsistence is further subdivided into intensive and extensive, and commercial is further subdivided into plantation and mixed farming. So we are going to pick up one by one each one of them and explain what do these type of agriculture mean and how are they carried on in the country of India. So first is shifting agriculture. You have studied about this type of agriculture earlier also, which is also called as a slash and burn or zooming. Actually, this type of cultivation was followed long time back when the people were living a nomadic life. They would select a piece of land, and whatever trees and bushes were found on that land, they would clear it. They would burn the roots. Now, burning of roots would give them two advantages. One, burning of roots would add potash to the soil, thereby making it fertile. And the second, any pests or insects which were found in the soil would get killed, and therefore they would not ruin the crop which was grown later. After this land has been cultivated for a few years, 2, 3, 4 years, depending upon the fertility of the soil, then the nomads would abandon this land. Why would the fertility of the soil become less after 2, 3 years? Was because they were not adding any fertilizers or manure to this soil. They would only cultivate for a few years and then shift on to a new piece of land. This land was abandoned, and the same process was adopted for a fresh patch of land. That means cutting down of the trees and burning the roots. Now keep shifting from one piece of land to the other. This was causing a lot of harm, because when you were leaving a land, you were first cutting down the trees. That means large extent of deforestation was happening. And second, when you were moving from one land to another, you will leave the previous land bare without any vegetation. Thereby, a lot of soil erosion would happen on the previous land. And if you keep carrying on further and further, a chain would be formed where the number of trees would keep reducing and the soil will get eroded again and again. So, this type of cultivation was banned, or rather is banned, in all the countries of the world. The second is the subsistence type of cultivation, which comes under the heading of settled cultivation. Settled means you do not move from one place to another. You remain there on the same piece of land and keep cultivating it year after year. Now, when you're using the same piece of land year after year and you're not leaving that land for a new patch or new piece of land, that means you have to add fertilizers and manures to that land so that the soil fertility is not lost. So, shifting we've done. Shifting means to shift from one piece of land to another, like a nomadic lifestyle. And the second is settled, like you stay in that same place. Now, this settled agriculture has been divided into two: subsistence and commercial. So we'll do the subsistence agriculture now. Now, subsist, the word subsist means to survive. That means any kind of cultivation which is done to survive or for its own survival, we call that as subsistence type of cultivation. So crops are grown for local consumption or for its own farm. That means the farmer is not growing crops to a large extent. He's either growing to support his own family or to sell in the local market. So that means a lot of crop is not being grown. Very limited amount of crop is being grown in this part of type of cultivation, which is sufficient for his family or for local consumption. That means people who are living all around that area. It is not being done to sell it off in the market and to earn a lot of profits. Now, since the farmer is not earning a lot of profit here, so he follows a primitive or old methods of cultivation, and farms are small and family members are employed to do the work. Machines are not used, because machines, and if you employ labor, that costs a lot, and farmer is not doing this type of cultivation for profit. Therefore, no machines are being used and manual labor is also not employed. Only the family members work on the land to get the produce. Subsistence agriculture is subdivided further. If you remember, subsistence is further subdivided into intensive and extensive. So what is intensive and what is extensive type of agriculture? In intensive type of agriculture, just generally practiced in India, Bangladesh, China, because there the population is more and the amount available for cultivation is less. That means in less amount of land we have to produce enough to supply to the present population of that area. So that means more care is taken of the crop. A lot of fertilizers are applied so that better quality seeds are used, new techniques are used, so that not used mechanized farming is not used, only manual labor is employed because plenty of population is there, so manual labor is cheap and easily available. So that is the type of intensive agriculture. In extensive agriculture, land available is too much. That means a lot of land like US and Russia, where the population is less but the land available for cultivation is too much. So farms are large, labor is short because since population is less, manual labor is not easily available, so therefore they depend on machines. And yield per hectare is low. Obviously the amount of crop, which is because care is not taken, since manual labor is not around, so care is not taken, so the amount of crop which is growing per hectare is less. But since they do not need much, so that kind of agriculture suits their area. Now the next category was commercial agriculture, which was further subdivided into plantation and mixed farming. Now in plantation farming, actually plantation farming is a very expensive type of farming. A huge area is put under this crop cultivation. Monoculture is practiced. That means it involves only a single crop cultivation. Large capital is required, latest technology is required, and this is purely meant for sale. That means local consumption is not there. It is basically done to provide raw material to the industries or factories. It is essentially a commercial type of farming of cash crops for profit. And the land where this kind of cultivation is done are called as estates. So you must have heard about rubber estates, tea estates, coffee estates. So they are called as estates because the land size is very, very large. Lot of mechanized, rather sometimes these estates are made in such a manner that it's a small city in itself. The people who are working on these estates, whether they are laborers or officers or people who are supervisors or taking care or technology or technicians, whoever is living on this piece of land, their basic amenities and requirements are fulfilled within that estate. They have a small ration shop, a doctor stays on land for first aid and immediate medical attention. A small school is also situated so that the laborers as well as the other people, small children, the primary education can be given to them on the estate only. And apart from that, they have clubs and social circles so that they meet each other, say every month or so, and socially they can entertain themselves. So it's a small city within itself, and that is why we use the word as estate and not farms. And the crop which is grown basically here is rubber, tea, coffee, spices. These are the few examples. Then the next type of commercial farming is mixed farming. Now mixed farming is, mixed means two things are going on simultaneously. What are those two things? One, of course, you cultivate crops, and two, you keep animals or livestock on your farm. Now livestock could be hens, that is poultry. Livestock could be cows and buffaloes for milk. Livestock could be for meat. Livestock could be for sheep is kept for wool, or goat is kept for meat. So livestock could be any kind of animal which is possible to rear in that area. And so both the things are done on the same farm. Now it has a basic reason behind it, and that reason is that if by chance the rain fails and the crop fails, therefore that means the farmer cannot earn money from crops, then he can fall back on his other source of income, becomes the animals at that point of time. Apart from that, they also have to follow a method which is called as crop rotation. Now crop rotation is not that you grow different types of crops in a year, but supposing you have grown rice and wheat or whatever, then the next type of crop should be a leguminous crop like pulses or peas, which can bring back the nitrogen of the soil. That means nitrogen fixation plants are grown, and these leguminous plants are called as nitrogen fixing plants because they have legumes in their roots, which has bacteria which fixes or rejuvenates or replenishes the nitrogen of the soil and makes it fertile further, and makes it very, very fertile. So this kind of process should be followed by the farmers to maintain the fertility of the soil. If this process is maintained, the amount of fertilizers required for the soil becomes less. And of course, fertilizers are chemicals. So these are natural means of increasing or retaining the fertility of the soil, and you don't have to depend on the chemical fertilizers. This finishes with the chapter, and there is a difference given on page 110 of your books. They've differentiated between intensive, extensive, commercial and subsistence agriculture, and shifting and plantation agriculture. This must be learned thoroughly because these are the type of questions which are asked on a regular basis. So do go through these differences at the back of your book on page 110. Apart from that, this chapter is over, and the next chapter we are going to deal with is the food crop. That means the crops which are used by the farmers on regular basis. So bye bye for now. Just listen to the video, see the points, take up your book and see where the points are, and please underline them. Very, very important.